this weekend, I ended up going in search of fabric stores and also thrift stores, secondhand shops in Stuttgart, which I haven't done yet, really at all this last year since we've been here. And so I went out Saturday morning and was out for about 4 hours roughly, and managed to discover two fabric stores and 2 secondhand shops. So that's a good start. There's a lot more. At least there's a lot more secondhand shops, and I plan to continue to work through the list in the near future. But I felt really good about it, finally getting out of the house and actually exploring, which I have had a bit of a struggle with this last year, starting more so than I thought I would. So yeah. Well, it started pretty early for me. Little known fact, I am the oldest of 11 children, and my father is a pastor. And my mother was a stay-at-home mom who taught us, homeschooled us. So we didn't have a lot of money, really, for many extras, if at all. And so thrifting became sort of like the lifeblood that fueled me for many years. Even after I left home and was on my own, not making a ton of money, a student, I'm still going to thrift stores, looking for clothes, seeing what I can do in the furniture department. And then it turned into Facebook Marketplace, which was online, and then I would look through that and do meetups to find furniture and so forth. So it's definitely been something I've done for years, my whole life really. And it's always been something I found rather satisfying, because there's always so many possibilities. It's not just what you see, but it's what you see and what you could potentially do with that particular item. And that's super exciting for my ADHD brain, I think. So that was always something that really pushed me to go out and find something that wasn't as expensive and make it into something that I really enjoyed. Yeah. My mother said that her earliest memory of me was when I was little, and I'd want her to pick me up and hold me up to my clothes in my closet so I could just like texturally piece through them. I wanted to touch all of my clothes, which is funny because, yeah, I mean, I've always loved clothes. I've always liked textures and feeling the fabrics and all of that, even, I guess, apparently since I was like a baby. So it's always been something that I've loved doing. But yeah, that's where it started. I did make an online order on a website that was secondhand, but that's a little bit more tricky because you can't really try it on, feel the fabrics, etc. So that's fine, and I think I found a few pieces that I liked, but it is a challenge when you can't see it or feel it, because it is fabric and there's just like so many different factors to it. In person versus online. So that was about the only thrifting that I've done since moving. And I also lost about 20 pounds since coming here, just probably because of, I guess, the food. The food is really good. I don't eat out fast food like I used to do that a lot. I learned to cook this last year, out of necessity really, and so I've just been eating better in general. And then of course there's a lot more physical activity, a lot more walking. So I lost about 20 pounds. So everything that I brought got really big on me, and so even the stuff that I brought over with me it really wasn't fitting as well. And so I packed up a lot of that stuff. And then I had the idea that I would maybe try to rework some of it because I did like the fabrics. I've really been trying to buy a lot more natural fibers and when I shop instead of the synthetic ones, because it feels better and it breathes better, and I don't know, I just really like the way it feels on my body. So I just hated that I had put in a little bit of an investment in more natural fiber clothing and then it didn't fit. So I ended up saving it for a while and got rid of some of it, but then I never really replaced a ton of the items because I don't really shop a lot. I guess I'm maybe too picky because I do like things that are natural fibers. I do like things that are breathable and they don't feel itchy on my skin. And I also like kind of quality clothing that's put together better. It's not like really fast fashion. And sometimes that takes a while to find. So I will occasionally go into the store, and if I find something that's like 100% cotton, like a tank top or something, I'll get it at a regular store. And I bought some jeans when my size went down, and so I had some pants to wear, but I just really didn't replace a lot. The reason that it is so hard for me to answer this question is because then I would have to be vulnerable and I'd have to be honest about feeling so overwhelmed with everything, especially with learning the language and not knowing the language really, learning but just being completely inept at it for so long, and coming here and feeling really challenged with moving through the world, this new world that I'm living in. I was always really confident in the way that I could, interact with people and communicate, and then I lost one of my biggest strengths, it felt like. So I was not able to say things, I wasn't able to explain or talk through things, that was such a big confidence builder for me before I moved here. And then I came here, and then I'm learning, I'm still learning, and not that that's a bad thing. It's definitely something that I tell my kids, it takes time and it takes patience, and new things are all part of the process. You got to try things and fail at things and try again, and all of that is definitely my creed, the creed I follow internally. And I think because it was still physically possible for me to move myself out into the world because it was so overwhelming, there's so many nerves still to this day in putting myself out there, doing new things, and finding myself in worlds where I don't know my way around anymore. And I when I first moved here, I was pretty much confined to the house for a lot of time, self-confined, bear in mind, because I was just feeling so overwhelmed by any basic task. And so now, I've kind of come to a point where I can get around and I can go to stores comfortably and shop and do all of that in the going to the grocery store and shopping there, or going to doctor's offices and so forth. And still, that, depending on if it's a new one, it can be overwhelming. But I've done so many shops and talked to shop people, and I've gone to the apotheca, and just so many different interactions that slowly started to build up my confidence a little bit more in moving around. I can take the train system very comfortably. All of that has happened, but there was just this, thing that stalled me out when it came to putting myself out there and discovering new shops, new secondhand shops. And I don't know if it was because it was a link with the past, that there was this part of me that was worried that I would be disappointed in the options that I found, or that there would be a part of me that was not able to connect with it in the same way, or I don't know. I'm sure there's so many elements that went into it, but what it ended up looking like was just me being afraid to try, being afraid to go out and explore places again, and honestly, I don't judge myself for it. I'm very sympathetic and empathetic to anyone who is starting something so new. It can be so overwhelming, and so, oh God, it can be so, it can stall you out. Honestly, it can feel like you're moving at a snail's pace through no fault of your own, really, just based on the circumstances. And so that really did stall me out and made it almost impossible for me to do the things that I've always prided myself in doing. Like, for years I did these bucket lists, summer bucket lists. I would put all of these fun, exciting, interesting activities on the bucket list. And this is while I had little kids, and I would be like, let's do this fall movie list marathon. And I was always trying to find like these joyful little moments, or let's just explore and see where we can go, or go on this trip, or go to this random little town. I always thought that was so fun and exciting to do. And then I moved here, and there's just like so many possibilities and so many places to go. But I don't know, I kind of shut down. And even though I did go places and did do things last year, it just felt almost like there was this internal block that was holding me back from really truly exploring to my potential, my internal potential that I knew that I had. And maybe it was just the cycle that I was in, and I'm still kind of in, but I think we're slowly exiting on the exiting ramp. We're coasting off that ramp, and we're getting to, I think, a little bit more of a fresh, open-minded space. It does feel like the energy is changing. And so for me, the reason why that I went to the secondhand shops, which seems so simple, maybe that was the other thing that was making me feel embarrassed to talk about it. It seemed like it was such a simple thing. Just go out and go to a store. It seems so simple. What is this about that? You can speak enough German, and you're okay. And it's like, what is it about this? I couldn't have told you clearly, maybe exactly why. It felt so simple, and yet it was so hard. So I had to take it out of my mind, out of that overthinking, processing point, and just put it into actual action. So this last week, you would be surprised at how nervous I was going out for the first time, looking for some secondhand shops. And it's like, oh, it's just a simple thing. And then I was almost shut down with nerves. But I was like, if I don't take this next step, I will be relegating myself to a box. And I don't want to live in a box. I want to live free. So it took me a while. I put myself together, and I walked out that door, and our momentum started, and I just kept walking, and I was like, we're just going to put one foot in front of the other, and we're going to find ourselves here. We're not going to think of this as the perfect outing. It just can be, we see as many stores as we want to see. And that was my goal. And so I felt really proud of myself at the end of it, and I felt better, and nothing happened. And I proved to my mind and my body that I'm safe, that it's safe to do this. It's safe. Nothing horribly wrong will happen. And I'm really grateful that sometimes you just have to put one foot in front of the other and think as small as you can, and start the momentum, start that train. And it worked. I feel so much better about it, and I could go again, and I would be less nervous this next time. What keeps me coming back? I think it's partly the thrill of the hunt. It's the fact that there's so much possibility in fabrics and textures and colors. I think that partially it is the price point. It can be cheaper than ready-made things. I can always in my head think, oh, I could make that. Oh, I could do that. Oh, I could make a better one. Oh, I could make one that's higher quality than this. It's like this potential. And there's this creative part of me that's always there, that wants to make something that I like, that I resonate with, that feels like me totally. And there's just a draw to be able to do that. So yeah, that's why. And even if like thrifting prices have definitely gone up, and I would say that the stores that I was shopping in, the secondhand shops that I shopped at this weekend, the prices are higher than say the Goodwill in the US. The options were still really good. Okay, so I do have a system, a shopping system. My shopping system consists of fabrics. So first of all, I try to find all natural fabrics. I will dip into secondhand viscose because it's still pretty breathable, and it is kind of a natural fiber, but it's like the processing that's like supposed to be maybe not as, eco-friendly, but it's already secondhand. So viscose, you still find a good bit of viscose, but I try to stay away from polyester and acrylic because it's just really not breathable. It doesn't feel as good on my skin. And I'm ADHD, so I really have some I can feel sensory issues are really important to get right. So I try to stick with cotton, satin, cotton, silk, wools, what else? Linens. I kind of stick with those 4 basics, but then I can kind of sometimes go to viscose occasionally because viscose is pretty soft. And then you also have occasionally, for details, you can do I like a good glitter. I like glitter. I like some sparkle and some shine and stuff. So that's a possibility occasionally for me to dip into for just fun pieces. But that's what I look for. So I'll check the tags for that. Sometimes they don't have tags. I've kind of gotten pretty good at feeling. It's taken a while, but I've gotten a good amount of practice in feeling fabrics and seeing, okay, well, this is polyester, this is whatever. This is acrylic, this is cotton, or this is a mix or a blend. Of course, harder to tell with the blends because sometimes it's 85% cotton and then, however much, a small percentage, the stretch fiber for for woven fabrics. So that's something that I kind of I will bend a little with that just because of the stretchiness that you need. But I do try to do cotton for the most part because it is, or linen, especially in summer, because it is so much more breathable when you're not when you're sweating a lot. It's just very much more, it doesn't feel like you're holding all of this liquid in on your body. But that also depends on how much you're sweating. So potato. But that's what I look for. I'll also look at fabrics, color. Do I like the color? Do I like the design? And if I don't like the color of the design, I'm not going to really touch it, even if it is cotton, because I don't really care for the colors. So that's what I kind of do when I'm piecing through. It's fabric, content, and color and design. And so I don't really worry too much about shapes sometimes, because now that I'm sewing, if I like the fabric a lot and I like the material, then I'll go ahead and get it, because I can go ahead and change it and redesign it into something I like with sewing, which is what I love about it. It's roughly my system when it comes to secondhand shopping.